Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And we had the last race of the season, and the standings for the drivers are Mustafa in 5th, and Rogers down in 14th. And there's only a couple points separating a lot of the drivers here in the top, let's say, 7 positions. Pretty close. And teams-wise, we finished in 5th place. Now, there's a big gap between 5th and 4th here, so it was unlikely we were going to win that. But not too far behind us is the team in 6th place. So, not a bad finish for the season. Rogers could have done better, probably, but we'll more than likely be replacing him for next season. So, let's stumble through the process of getting into the next season, because I have not done this yet before. All right, so what do we have here? Okay, so that has something to do with the race that we just did. We're repairing cars. We have an interview. Let's go ahead and accept it. Okay, yeah. Testing weekend, but he finished pretty well, though, didn't he? It was like 4th or something. I mean, it wasn't bad. Or maybe it was just barely 6th. I don't remember. It's been a couple days since I last played, so I think he just barely finished 6th or something like that, because I know we got our sponsorship. I don't know why they're saying that's a bad performance, though. For our team, that's perfectly acceptable. All right, well, we'll just say it wasn't his day, whatever. Yeah, he did finish down in 12th. It could have been worse, though, because there was a collision, which is not, again, his fault. So I'll just say, I mean, again, it wasn't his fault, so there's nothing to worry about. Again, we're probably not going to be keeping a hold of him. I mean, we might pick him up as a reserve driver if we can't have anybody else that would be better. Okay, so this is the result of the last race of the season. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue here, as there's nothing else really to do. Okay, so we have our car repair complete. Now, I saw a whole bunch of other stuff on the calendar. Let's take a look. I'm not sure where I see that other calendar. But this should be the end of the season for us, so outside of the cars being repaired, I mean, I could be building parts and other things, but also, we're not getting anything sponsorship-wise, so I think I'm just going to sit tight, and we'll see what happens here. Okay. We've got a whole bunch of mail. Let's start here. Oh, we had a scouting report. Alright, so I'll just take a look at them really quickly. Pretty good driver. More veteran driver. But they don't have a contract, so it might be worth picking up. Although, they're old, so they have a lot of stat penalties as a result. So I guess once you get to 35, your ability starts running down a little bit. Otherwise, though, pretty good, stats-wise and overall. So, again, might be a good veteran pickup. All right, so let's come back over here. So we've got a must respond. Okay, I'm happy to present you with your prize money for the 2016 season. All right. Receive prize money. Oh, wow. That's a lot of money. Okay. Well, that allows us to do quite a bit. All right, after... Okay, the votes, the managers of the season... Oh, wow, we won the Manager of the Season award. That's great. Driver of the Season goes to Silver Racing's driver, Amanda Cavalcanti. And Garuda Racing, okay. So, one of their drivers retired. Now, I thought that we also heard that Ja might be retiring too. So, that might be both of their drivers. All right, so their drivers are really... older drivers here. So he's going to be retiring at 41 years old. And, oh, All right, well, that's very interesting. I'm wondering how good Garuda Racing will be next year. I mean, they'll have good cars, but if both their drivers retire, all right. Well, still got a couple more messages here. Oh yeah, here comes yeah. So Garuda Racing just lost both of their drivers, one at age 41, the other at age 39. And he said the best part of his career was driving with Archer BMR. So I wasn't aware he was a previous driver of our team. And we have another driver retiring here at 36. I don't know which team she's with. Okay. But, oh, I wonder if she's in a different championship series because she's talking about a different team that I'm not really familiar with. All right. Well, that's everything for today. So we've got a whole bunch of money. So I'm going to go into the headquarters here and see what we can do with that. So we can either upgrade buildings or get new buildings. I think the new buildings would probably be the best spending of our money. And I would like to build a brake facility because I think that's the one thing of our cars that needs the most improvement. But with this amount of cash, I think we could build probably 2 buildings. I might even buy the forecasting center just so we get more accurate forecasting than we currently are getting. But let's go ahead and build this. So that'll cost us 8 million. It'll take 14 weeks. So confirm. Okay. And does it allow me to build? Oh, it allows me to build more than one building at once. Well, I'm just going to save my money for now. I want to see other things that we can do with the money. And is our calendar updated? No, we still have the old calendar. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and continue one more time here. All right, so we have some more things in our mailbox. Okay, so the 2017 rules changes are now active. And I think the main change was just we had a new track being added on, and we had a change to our tires. And then, oh yeah, it actually summarizes that here. And then we have long qualifying sessions, which I don't think actually matters because we don't actually have qualifying sessions. So I don't know if that's going to be listed. We'll find out. But in the past, when I looked at the GMA and I looked at the upcoming 2017 rules, it didn't list this. So again, we'll have to see. Now, we've got promotions and relegations. So this is the thing I'm most interested in because this is the one thing I wasn't really clear on. So this year, this team have been promoted to the World Motorsport Championship at the expense of Chariot Motor Group, who has been relegated to Asia Pacific Super Cup. So this team was in the World Championship, and this team was in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. Meanwhile, in the Asia Pacific Super Cup, Garuda Racing has been promoted. That will be tough for them as they just had both their drivers retire. And we will be getting this team here, Lucatelli Racing, will drop down. So this team might be pretty darn good, though, considering they were in the series above us. So it looks like to get promoted, you have to be at the top, and to be demoted, you have to be all the way at the bottom. And our championship series, it's not possible to be demoted because there's nothing below us. All right, well, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if there's a quick way for me to take a look at the competition, but maybe we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Do we have an updated calendar yet? We do. All right, so let's go take a look at what tracks will be running. So we're going to start the season with the Black Sea, which is where we started last year. And let's just count how many races we have. We have, I think, it says 1 of 11. So Beijing being added in actually gave us an extra race. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, our normal schedule. And then Beijing was added on. Again, I find that kind of weird because we're the European racing series, and this is not in Europe. Every other race we have is in Europe. But I think, again, the things that you vote on are kind of random or randomized. All right, well, that's nice to have an extra race, though, in the season. Let's go ahead and continue again. Okay, I'm going to pause here so we can take a look at the cars and seeing if there's any parts that we can improve or anything like that. So we've got all of our reliability is up. Oh, that's interesting. The wings are now back to their old reliability. I wonder if at the end of the year, because these are spec parts, they get replaced. But that's not a big problem. We just slot that in, and we could even just do that, and we'll have these done well in advance, and then it will just switch over to priority of performance, and we should be good there. All right, what else we got in the mailbox? So reliability work done, scouting report finished. Let's take a look at this person. So I think right now we're scouting mostly just people that were unemployed during... Oh, see, this person doesn't have the old trait. They have a lot of other great traits here. Outside of this. All right, well, again, if we have the budget for it, I might be picking up a nice veteran driver like that. But I don't want somebody that's too much better than Mustafa, because I told him they would be on equal footing. And really, it's not our drivers that need to be improved, because that's actually one of the things that we do pretty good with. The one thing that we need to improve is our cars. And I'm working on doing things to get that to happen. But let's go ahead and continue here. All right, so we have another scouting report happen. Or actually, no. Okay, so one of their drivers for ZRT wants to leave the team. Okay. Actually, I wonder, with our drivers, do we still have them? So the contracts will end in 1 month. We've got a sponsorship deal here. Let's take a look at them, because I think we're full up now. So we could take $300,000 per race for 13 races, so that will extend into the next season. We can take $400,000 now and $150,000 per race, so half as much, or $1.5 million, and this contract lasts for the entire season. Well, just doing the math, this is obviously not the great deal, because this one here, which only lasts 9 races, is almost giving us as much as that one is, just with the money per race. Now, this gives us double that per race, and overall, I think is worth more. And it is a 3-star sponsorship deal, so it is ranked higher too. I think this is a good call. It's worth more cash overall. It's going to be worth almost $4 million bucks. So, or pounds, I should say. Whereas this one would be definitely worth a lot less than that. So let's go ahead and accept this offer. And we're going to have a lot of other sponsorships expiring here pretty soon. So we've got 3, it looks like, as soon as we have our first race of the season. Okay. Again, I'm just not really sure exactly the course of events here. But we have some preseason stuff going on, which will be interesting if... Oh, we had an autosave? Okay. Some of the mechanics have been giving me funny looks lately. I think they're jealous about the money I earn. I don't want them touching my stuff or me. Well, you're going to be gone, so I don't care. Car design unlocked. Hi, Mouse. We need to get cracking on 2017 chassis. Just give us the word and we'll get started. Exciting times. Oh, cool. All right, so this is a new thing, and I have no idea how it works. All right, designing car chassis. Your new chassis is in development. Chassis finish date is 3/5/2017. All right, so I'm not seeing anything that we can necessarily interact with. Yeah, so I think there's going to be certain stages where we get to design the car. And I guess we go from there. Huh, okay. That sounds pretty cool. So, what is the current date? Well, this happens in March. So it looks like we'll be done with the car just before, well, you know, about a couple weeks before the season. A little less than that. I don't know where the current date is, though. I don't actually... Oh, yeah, down here, December 13th. So we've got a few months to go. All right, that's cool. All right, so we'll see how this goes. Sign next year's car. Oh, okay, here we go. This is money where we've squirreled away for next year's card. Do try not to waste it. So we've got 7 million pounds. Going to be added on. So we have 15 million to work with. All right, so let's see what we've got. So we've got an engine supplier. So this is the cheapest engine, but it's not going to be very good. Oh, so this is actually helping me quite a bit with my series. Kind of figuring out how to improve the Predator Racing team, which is a not great team. So the two here I'm conflicted with because there's not a big difference here, but we have more fuel efficiency with this engine, but we get a bigger base stat modifier with this engine. Improvability is the same, so mostly we'd be losing fuel efficiency in favor of base stat modifier. Or we can always come back. So let's say we take the more fuel efficient engine. That's going to cost us a little over 4 million. And we have the fuel supplier itself. Now I might take this one here because it's got not the best fuel efficiency compared to this, but it has a lot more improvability. On the other hand, we just take the better fuel efficiency and we just deal with the fact that it's not very improvable. Again, I'll take this route. And we can always come back and reevaluate things. So we've got improvability and we've got fuel efficiency. So we've got a little over 2 stars in fuel efficiency and almost 2.5 stars in improvability. So material supplier. We've got the low dog. We've got these guys here. And then we have this one here. So, again, I almost want to go for the balance here. So, tire wear and tire heating. Rather than go with very weak tire heating, take a little bit more tire wear. Let's select that. So we're going over the amount that was already supplied to me by a couple million, but we saved up some cash. And then lastly, we have the brake supplier. Now, I don't see any reason to take any of the lower cost ones because here we are, weak and medium, which is better than everything else here. So let's say we take this one. That would give us a final of 12,700,000, and tire wear is at a little over 2 stars, so pretty close to where fuel efficiency is. But tire heating, again, is close to where we have improvability. I think I'm happy with that. 12 million. We get a few million still in the bank and to play with for the next stages of the car design, which I'm hoping that we get extra cash for. I'm just a little bit worried, though, how much cash we burnt through. Of the 8 million that we had in store, I burnt through 5 million of it. So, should we cut back on something? I mean, I kind of feel like I already have cut back to some extent. The only place I haven't cut back is in the brakes. And I could save myself 2 million here. So let's say we went with this instead. So we'll have a little bit more tire wear. I think we got to save the money because I don't know how much the rest of this is going to cost me. And we went 3 million over... a little over 3 million over what was given to us originally. And then And change these preferences to get the basic setup for your new chassis. Oh, so these aren't available. They're locked. All right. We'll just continue then. And confirm. So maybe it wasn't the best idea to build the headquarters here before we were going to design our car. But we do still have about $5 million in the bank to spend extra beyond what we were being allotted. All right, so chassis's finish date 3/5/2017. All right, we will continue then. Ooh, a lot of stuff happening. I want to read all that. All right. So, top British driver has decided that her future in racing is with that and has negotiated. Okay. I think it's probably a good idea to start looking for drivers because that's what everybody else is doing. Okay. Scout report finished. Scout report finished. Well, I'll look at them. Okay. So that person had a younger driver, but no potential. But not a bad driver overall, even if they don't have any improvability. All right. And let's look at the other driver here. So this one has potential to improve. And okay, timesheet hero is going to balance out the crash happy, but it's only during qualifying and practice, so it's not really going to be all that useful. All right, well, I'll keep this driver in mind, but let's take a look at our drivers. So their contract should be up at this point. So we should be able to either renegotiate with them or not. Let's go ahead and take a look at just drivers overall. So I'm going to go with unemployed because that makes the most sense. And we'll go with, I want somebody that's going to be on par with Mustafa as our secondary driver. I'm not sure why I have Elliot Marsh starred here. All right, so where are we right now with Mustafa's ability? So 2.5 stars and has potential to get a little over 3. So that's more or less where we're looking. So let's go through and look at someone that has similar abilities. So Aldous Wood has similar abilities. Well, honestly, Rogers has similar abilities too. Like Boris here might be a good pickup, from what I can see. This driver here is also not too far behind, where Mustafa is. But would technically be worse than Rogers, but might not be a bad pickup as far as a developmental driver. Shenki here, because she's worse than Rogers now, but she'll be better than him eventually, but only marginally. But that might not be a bad reserve pickup. Let's take a look at her. So feedback is one thing that I'm really more interested in. With if I'm going to pick up a reserve driver, I would like somebody that's not only developmental, but I'd also like somebody that has good feedback. Oh, what was her one ability? Okay, so she has plus 50 potential, and she gives us extra feedback. Unfortunately, she's still... I mean, I think she's equal to where Rogers is. All right, so this is one driver I might want to pick up. And then I think the other one is this guy here, who's technically better than Mustafa is, but not far enough better right now that I think he will be upset with taking. Marsh is another possibility. Elliot Marsh, the person I did have starred. And technically, Max Porter wouldn't be necessarily bad. And any of these guys, honestly, would be okay. From here to here would be, I think, fine with me. So let's talk with Boris here. All right, so crash happy, we know. But otherwise, not a bad driver. So let's just approach the driver. He is interested. Start negotiations. And wages aren't very important to me. That's good news for me. Now, currently, we're paying Mustafa about $300,000 a race. We're going to say equal status. He's not really all that interested in it anyway, his status. And he's not all that interested in wages either. Signing fee, bonus size isn't important. He would prefer a short contract, but we still might be able to lock him into a longer one. So let's give him, let's say about that much. And I mean, honestly, $300,000 is probably more fair for his ability. Let's see if we can get him a little bit cheaper. And we'll give him a 2-year contract. All right. I think that's not bad. We'll give him that. And then let's talk to Shen Ki here. So I want to take a look at her again. She's 19. I think this is a good, maybe reserve driver. Not as good as Rogers is right now, but again, I think potential for improvement. And her feedback is about the same as that other guy we were picking up. So we could put her in practice to give her some experience, but not actually run her. But let's talk to her. So let's approach her. She's got great marketability too. If we back up here, marketability 61%. I don't think that matters unless she's slotted in. But let's approach the driver and talk to her. Now, because she's a reserve driver, and we're going to tell her that so that she's not too disappointed. I prefer a long contract. I'm willing to do that because she's young. And as far as her cost, I'm going to give her, it's not that important to her, but I'm going to give her, let's say, $74,000. And then she's not interested in any of this stuff. All right, so we have given her, I think would be a reasonable offer for her. As far as wages and everything, we're probably even overpaying her. And we'll send that along. Okay, so I think those are 2 drivers we could potentially pick up that would be pretty nice. And let's see if there's... The big problem, though, with the unemployed thing is I don't know, like, in our series, if we come over here, I don't know how many of these drivers have contracts. Like, for instance, if we look through here, Nick Chu might not be a bad driver to pick up. And then probably Claudia Dreyfus here might not be bad to pick up too, because her potential is exactly the same as Mustafa's. So let's come to her. And she still has 12 months of a contract remaining. So let's go to Chu here, right? He has 36 months. So I'm not sure if there's anyone here that would actually be having an expired contract. And considering how... 24 months. Yeah, 24 months. I wouldn't want this guy anyway because he's an asshole. Yeah, so as far as I can tell, all of these people have contracts. But when you see something like this where Alex Rogers is listed as having a contract, but we know he doesn't have one, it's a little bit confusing. So I can't be like for certain on that unless I actually check them. But as far as I can tell, most of these drivers here with good potential have at least a year's worth of contract. And we haven't done scouting of anyone else. it's possible that they don't have a contract, but I'll just assume they all do. All right, so we have done our offers to a couple drivers. And there's other ones that we could attempt if those don't go well. Like, for instance, Elliot Marsh here. I had him star before. Timesheet Hero, Wits at home, so he doesn't like driving at home. And he's writing an autobiography right now, which for 9 weeks is going to cause morale issues. But otherwise, not a bad driver. Good in feedback. He's got a lot of issues up here, though, which is one of the reasons I don't know if I want to take him. All right, well, we've taken a look at drivers. We've offered them contracts. Let's go ahead and continue now. All right, so we've got a contract proposal. All right, so wants to renegotiate. Let's go to that. Okay, so mostly it's just the wages. And I was aware that that might be a problem. So let's go ahead and up that a little bit. We'll give him about that much. Any more than that, and I'm not willing to do so. And just to make him a little bit happier with the contract length, I'll even... Oh, end of 2016 wouldn't do us much good, would it? All right, so we'll just do that. I would have liked this button to actually have updated to say end of 2017. I don't know if that's a bug, but that seems like a bug. All right, so we'll just renegotiate with him, give him a little bit more money. But if he wants more than this, I think we're going to have to pass on him. Although it is tempting to offer him more, but we'll go with that. We'll hit continue. Yeah, so he was insulted there. Hopefully he's not insulted here. And if he is insulted, we won't hear back from him. Okay. And what do we have here? All right, she hasn't responded yet, so we'll have to wait on that. But I'm going to stick her in as a reserve driver. And as I said, we can always pick up Alex Rogers if I feel like there isn't much other choice here. And he is passionate, so he will not ask for as much money if we were to renegotiate with him. And upgrading our drivers isn't maybe as important here. But I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So we're trying to figure out next season, and we'll continue that process in the next video as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.